Welcome to PODTC. This is Melissa Swafford, your host, and I'm very excited today to be joined by Herbrina Shepherd. And today we're going to explore the upcoming conference for the Ohio Transfer Conference or Ohio Transfer Council. Welcome, Herbrina. I'm so glad that you could join us to talk about the conference. If why don't we get started? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role in planning the conference?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Sabrina Shepherd. I am currently a transfer specialist at Cuyahoga Community College, as well as the Events Professional Development Chair for the Ohio Transfer Council. And basically, I'm the head honcho to lead the conference, the Ohio Transfer Council conference. And we're really excited to have you all come or just to learn more about the conference and how we provide professional development for the state of Ohio.
Great. And I think what a good place to start as we think about the conference is the theme. And this year's theme is Breaking Barriers, Building Systems for Transfer Student Success. So, can you tell me a little bit where that theme came from and maybe some of those barriers that we're hoping to address during the conference?
Yeah, so just talking with some counterparts in transfer, it just seems like a lot of things that has been happening surrounding like technology, systems, chat GPT, of course, AI. And so we kind of wanted to focus on that area of like the technology part of transfer because it seems like that part we haven't really dove right into. And there's a lot of different systems that's coming out now to support our work in transfer. And we kind of wanted to focus on that. Not only that, but also some of the barriers that we see that our students are facing when it comes to like systems in place and how we can make sure that those barriers are broken to make sure that they're successful transfer students at our different institutions.
Great. And thinking on that theme, I know one of the things that has always been a core of what we do with OTC is transfer advocacy. How do you see what we're doing at the conference contributing to advocacy and transfer?
Yeah, I can see it like it's just coming at the table and just seeing how others are talking about like how they're using technology and also how they're working to make sure that their students are successful at their institutions, coming at the table just to see sharing ideas, suggestions, or even like some downfalls that we can see. So maybe some other institutions can prepare for, hey, this is what is going on at this institution. Let's maybe be proactive rather than reactive since we are seeing some of these downfalls or barriers that affects our students, especially within the transfer realm. So I think the biggest thing is just making sure that we're connecting with our colleagues across the state because I feel like sometimes institutions can be in their own silo. So like making sure like, hey, this is what's happening in our area. Are you seeing the same thing? So having that conversation, opening up, and also having takeaways where we can actually have things that we can go back to our institutions like, hey, X, Y, and Z is doing this. Maybe we can implement this at our institution.
I think one of the great things about the conference is we very rarely, as a whole state related to transfer, get together in one place. And it is
Right.
so, in Northeast Ohio, as we both are, we know that like we have a ton of schools up here that we work with, but we have no idea what's going on in Southern Ohio or North. So it is really good to kind of hear what's working there that we might be able to implement too. So let's kind of talk more about the programming aspect of what's going to be going on during the conference. So you've announced that Manny Smith is the keynote speaker. What drew the committee to him, and what message do you hope that sparks for attendees?
Okay. We're really excited about Manny. He's the CEO of Advisory, and we just see like this is a up and coming tech program event, and then also with him being a transfer student, he's very passionate to make sure that transfer students are heard and that their voices are at the table. So just having him come and talk to about like not only his experience, but also like how he is supporting other transfer students, not only through his work with advisory, but through his work nationally, around. And we just really wanna emphasize just, like, transfer success and institution collaboration was the biggest thing that why we're excited for, Manny to come in and be our keynote.
Awesome. And then throughout the conference, Thursday and Fridays, both facilitated discussions, breakout sessions, and then we have some main group sessions. What are you most excited about? What topics or what conversations are you most excited about?
So, yeah, I'm really excited about our hot topics. For sure. Some of our hot topics kind of surrounds like the biggest thing that I'm really interested is learning about is like the fraudulent applications that schools are really facing because that I don't on my side of transfer, I don't really see that side of it. And I'm really interested to learn like how is that getting processed? How are they pulling those fraudulent applications? Like how can you tell this is not a real person? So I'm real interested to see that side of the work of transfer and see what kind of things that our colleagues are working through and how are they overcoming that part because I feel like AI in my mind is the best thing ever, but it's a bad side to AI and I feel like that's the bad side to it. So I'm kind of like interested to see how people are working through that.
I always love the hot topics. I feel like that's been such a great value add because nobody has to prepare a ton. They just are sharing what's going on and asking even I feel like those we come out with more questions. We get answers, but we come out with more questions and there almost seems to be much more of a call to action when you leave from those. Are our friends from the Ohio Department of Higher Education presenting this year? And
Yep.
what can we expect from them?
So I know we have a new tool that's being introduced for the entire state. So I'm very excited for them to talk about that. And then, they're just going to give us different updates about our different pathways and things like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's awesome
Okay.
that they come to our conference because if you think about it, I mean, in my mind, the State Department is kind of like the Wiz and the Wizard of Oz, like they're the folks behind the curtain. So, but to actually have them come and like network and for them to come and sit in on workshops too. It's just like really amazing just to hear their side of things and also for them to sit there and listen to what's really going on at our different institutions. I think that's a powerful thing right there.
Yeah, and I think we've seen how powerful it can be, and they listen and they take that back. So it is definitely a great asset to have them there. So, kind of thinking about this, it's a 2 day event. So, this is the second year where we're a 2 day event. Starts on Thursday, June 11th, and then Friday, June 12th at Franklin University. Can you talk a little bit about the design and the flow of the conference? What attendees can expect?
Yeah, so the first day, of course, is check-in. We'll have a photographer on campus to take some headshots because free headshots is always good. Even if you like your
Absolutely.
headshot, it's always nice to have an extra one just in case. So we do have headshots. Lunch is on your own that day, but we will have snacks later on in the day. Like I'm the type of person who's like, where's the food? Things like that. We will have snacks later on in between our hot topics and our facilitated discussions. We will have a first time attendees workshop where our president, so our past president, current president, and future president, incoming president, will welcome our first time attendees. So if you have questions as a first timer, that's the best time to go in there and to meet our leadership and to learn more about OTC and what to expect for the conference. And also to network with other first timers. And then after that, we have our kickoff and like I said, our hot topic and our facilitated discussions, snack in between. And the biggest thing on Thursday that everyone enjoys is the President's Social at Penn's Mechanical. So that is like the highlight of Thursday for sure. So that's Thursday. Do you want me to keep going and talk about
Well,
Friday?
yeah. Why don't you talk about Friday?
Okay, so Friday is like the biggest chunk of like conference. So that's where we have our breakout sessions and our keynote speaker, as well as our updates from the higher education department of higher education. And that's really it for Friday. And of course, we have lunch. So lunch is always my highlight.
And I do remember last year the meals, the food at Franklin was very good last year. So I'm
Delicious,
hoping that it'll be good as
delicious.
well this year.
Yes,
And Franklin has been a great host. They were a great host last year. And
they still are.
so hopefully, we're just kind of following that same model here. So we're very lucky that Franklin is willing to host and not charge us and really just kind
Yeah.
of help us make this happen. So that's important. So let's go back to that President's Social. Kind
Yes.
of talk about like what's the spirit behind it? Like why should somebody come to that?
To the President's Social? Well, one, drinks and food, so why not be there?
Yeah. The drinks
And
and food.
lots of games, lots of fun. They have a slide there, which I went down last year. It was pretty fun. So, I'm debating on if I'm gonna go down again because I was a little injured. I'm a little old, but it
Yeah,
was fun.
yeah, yeah.
But it's just a good time to, like, connect with your, transfer counterparts on a social level to like not only like take your blazer off, take loosen up your tie, like just have a little fun, just to meet them on a personal level outside of just let's just talk about transfer students. Let us get to know each other because I feel like that's really key within our work because at each campus the transfer team might be one or two people. And so when you meet other folks who understand the work that you do, it just gives you more passion and more positivity to keep doing what you're doing. So just meet other folks and just learn about them. And so when you go back to work, you can be like, oh, I met so and so at Tri C. And I feel like, oh, okay, I'm comfortable enough to reach out to them because you went to that president social and you got to know them. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, and just so everybody knows, Pins Mechanical is at Easton.
Yep.
And I know on the conference website, we have both hotel information around Easton as well as closer to the conference. So people have options related to that. And I do remember a couple years ago, our keynote speaker, when they saw President Social, they thought it was a formal affair. And let's
Right.
just be clear to everybody, this is
It's
not a
not
formal affair.
formal. It's not formal at all.
Yes. No dressy, just
Mm-mm.
come,
Come as
the
you are.
yeah. And I think it's important for our attendees to know, one, their membership for OTC is
Yep.
included in the
And
cost
the
of
conference
attendance.
registration. Yep.
Yeah. But then also during the conference, we'll be doing some fundraising for scholarships. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about how attendees can contribute to that fundraising?
Yeah. So yes, we do have a scholarship fundraiser. So we'll be selling our Ohio Transfer Council T-shirts, and they'll be available for purchase for $20, and it goes towards our OTC scholarship awards, where we give like $1,000 to multiple scholarships, about around $1,000 to transfer students, and I think it's a good cause. Even if you don't want a t-shirt or you already had a t-shirt, you can still donate. Give us $1, give us $5, give us 50. We'll accept, okay? So, yeah, so come ready to donate and support transfer students scholarships because if you really think about it, transfer it's not a lot of transfer scholarships out there for our students. And for us to provide that opportunity for our students to be able to receive a scholarship is life changing for some students because that may be the only scholarship they receive when they transfer. So please come and support. The teachers are beautiful. If you want me to model it at the President's Social, that means you have to come. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. And as we wrap up, what's one thing you want attendees to walk away from the conference having gained?
I would say just a sense of renewal, really, because sometimes our work can be a little draining, but I feel like the conference can like make you feel renewed and empowered and ready to take over the world to be that transfer advocate for our students.
Um, and when is the final time to register?
You have all the way up until the week before the conference.
Why wait?
What you
Why
say?
wait?
Why
Why
wait? You
wait?
register now, okay? Register now. It's gonna be a good time.
Right. And if there are members who might be a part of an institution or organization that is looking to contribute or possibly sponsor in some way, who should they reach out to?
You can reach out to me, Herbrina Shepherd, herbrina.shepherd at tri-c.edu. And if you're thinking about sponsoring, we have different levels where we always accept sponsorships, and that can range from you having sitting at a table, we'll give you a table, to presenting, to hosting a presentation. So if you're interested, please reach out.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Sabrina. I know as the previous chair for
I
the
have big shoes to fill. I'm still trying to fill these shoes.
events and professional development, I know how much hard work goes into it. So thank you for that. And thank you to your committee. I know you have some people
Yeah.
working hot behind the scenes. And so if you are out there and you're hearing this, you go to the conference and you want to get involved, OTC is always looking for people to get involved. So you can see any board member, any chair to do that, but just know that we're all do this as volunteers. And so Sabrina has been gracious to volunteer to do this. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to her. But Sabrina, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Melissa.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.